All right, I think the cameras and such are live. Um,
Awesome.
hey everyone.
Not our
We're
normal time.
we're streaming a day early. Chat room. Hi Johnny. Yeah, we're streaming a day early. Tomorrow is not a great, at least not a great day for me to stream. So we decided we'd do it a little early and see how that worked and see if people came to chat with us and such.
Yeah, despite no real warning. But yeah, nice to see you here, Johnny.
Hopefully all is well.
Yeah, I think it was via Facebook, Johnny. I saw some kind of little animations of the board section you're making
Hmm.
for Adepticon, and it looks pretty intense, like kind of multi-tiered and whatnot.
Hello,
I'm excited.
Vox.
I guess I'm excited to see it actually at Adepticon since we should be there. But hopefully the build is going well. It looks kind of complex.
Yeah. That's something I'd like to do eventually, try and make some terrain, but I still have not really ventured into it. I sort of feel like if and when I start, then I just, that's all I would work on for a long time, and I'd stop making models, which maybe that's probably fine. Um, I mean, I do remember like years ago when we still sort of played Warhammer 40,000, we made a board or two. Um, but like I feel now, I have a tendency to maybe like overly detail models or spend so much time on all the detail and stuff. And I feel maybe it would actually be a good way to try and force me to distance myself at least a little from that. Um, because I feel if you'd actually want to
hmm
get something finished, you'd kind of have to avoid some of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I've been trying to do for painting some of these tiles for Zone Mortalis, which admittedly
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
I got one of them sort of far along, but and started to paint the second tile, but then already got sidetracked, and I'm now trying to paint a Sister of Battle. So I need after I finish painting her, or maybe while doing it, I need to really get back to that because it'll be so easy to stop and then
Well, what you should do, Eric, is you should paint one of the Sisters of Battle you have, then go and paint a tile, then go back and paint the next Sister of Battle, then paint a
yeah, it's
tile. You
true.
could probably, if you finish painting all of these sisters, you could probably bring them to Adepticon
Yeah,
to do a thing.
I considered trying to use them as like a kill team or then add a few models for a kill team
Hey, Eli. Nice to see you here.
just
No.
because like I already actually play it. I even played the game this weekend with a friend. So like the fact that I
Oh shit,
actually
so you did play kill you played kill team, is that what it was?
yeah, it was kill team.
Were you
So
using your space marines?
yeah, the same spaceman shit. I lost to Gene Stealer cultists.
So they're one of the stronger armies, right?
I don't really think they're that strong.
Okay.
But
I guess
I don't know.
I'd
They're
have to
good in
play a
close
lot.
combat. They have like
Okay.
a bunch of their aberrants and things like that have lots of close combat weapons, double the strength and
Well,
also
space
like
marines
call
certainly aren't good in combat.
2 damage and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So pretty much one shot destroys even the Primaris dudes. So,
Yeah.
but it was fun. I mean, it's nice to actually be playing stuff, but it got me to thinking that it might be fun to, if I do force myself to paint some of these sisters,
Well, do they
you
have
know,
they do have sister battle kill team rules. I sort of feel like maybe we already talked about that. Maybe even on the stream.
they do, but unfortunately, I mean, maybe they run a white dwarf, but I don't even think so. The main way you get them is by getting the Kill Team annual.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh.
And
Well, so
I
what
mean,
even
it's not very expensive. It's like $22 or whatnot, but I still don't really want to buy it.
Is it digital?
It's digital. So I'll probably do that
Okay, so yeah, I thought we talked about it.
at some point, but it's sort of annoying.
Yeah.
I just don't, I don't really want to. Well, I guess more than anything, it's not that I don't want to spend the money, but like I have an iPad and I have some of the digital books, that sort of thing. It's annoying to have all these books. And I mean, they're all in one place, so it's not even a space issue, but it's sort of annoying. It's also annoying how, I guess it's probably Games Workshop's fault for how they categorize their books and the metadata they include. But when you buy books on Apple's, I don't know, Apple Books or whatever they call it, sometimes they will group some of the things into series that you can't modify. Like I got the Blood Bowl rule book and then maybe the expansion for it, and they grouped some of the Blood Bowl stuff into a Blood Bowl folder, like a series they referred to, but not the other one, and you can't put them in there. And in the same sense, there was like a series of I don't know, Games Workshop rule books that in there they have the Sisters of Battle Codex and Kill Team Elites, but they don't have the Kill Team book, like the main rule book. So there are all these random folders that you can't change or do anything about. And
That's cool.
And it doesn't matter a whole lot, but I don't know. I would rather be able to organize them. And the fact that having to get another book that'll soon be outdated,
maybe
that probably will be in its own folder.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of annoying.
I like it. They really thought this through.
It would be nice if they just incorporated the Sister Battle Kill Team, into the main rule book and just edited it. I mean, they have edited the erratas and such for Kill Team have shown up in the digital rule book, so they're doing that a little bit, but
yeah, okay. Well,
but I figured if I can actually paint most of these models here, then it would be worth.
What would people think about including the Kill Team rules in the Codex books?
Yeah, no, I thought about that too.
Sort of makes sense.
Yeah, I guess just GW wants to sell more books, but it would be nice, particularly something like I did get the digital book for the Sisters of Battle, and I know I'm not going to ever play 40K with them.
Hell no,
that will never happen. So I don't care about the rules at all that are in there. The only reason I got it was to look at the artwork and read the background material, which is fine. But spending almost $40 to have half of the book be completely useless to me is
nice.
But if they did have the Kill Team rules, that would be nice.
I mean, I sort of feel like that would make sense because, I mean, a lot of, well, yeah, I guess Games Workshop was never always about making the most sense and being the most practical for their consumers, so.
No.
Well, I guess we can at least briefly talk about hobby happenings and hobby hoedowns. I've had your Sister of Battle up here that you're working on painting, Eric. She looks pretty good so far. It's a nice vibrant bloody red to it.
Yeah, my hope was that I could paint them somewhat quickly and not
Yeah,
worry too much about them to facilitate actually finishing them and, maybe learn some things in the process. As
yeah.
such, I wanted to primarily just use contrast paints.
Hey, look,
And
bud.
and that thus far what you see there is basically just flesh tears red diluted a little bit to make the armor. And then I went in a little bit with undiluted flesh tears red and some of it mixed with the contrast black to darken some areas, but I think I need to go in and do more of that.
The casing of the bolter, that is like a very matte look to it. Is that just like a regular
That's
gray or something? Or
That's Vallejo NATO black.
oh,
It's
that's cool. It's
not
like a
NATO
hmm,
black is not black, but
yeah,
it's pretty matte.
yeah. It's very matte. That's actually pretty neat. I kind of like that. I don't think I have that
Yeah, I had
paint.
another just regular black paint, and when I tried to order another bottle of it because I used it all, the only thing I found was NATO black at the time. And yeah,
Oh,
it's very different.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's like a dark
yeah.
gray. But so that's what that is.
I like it.
The black on like the robes and stuff, that's just like Black Templar.
Okay.
But I think I applied it once, like a diluted form, and it kind of was just lots of gray with some puddles in the deeper areas that were black. So I put more on it, and now it kind of just has lost any of the, I'm gonna say, contrast effects,
It's just
and
like
it's
kind of a
just
glossy black.
yes, or like a
Yeah.
satin black maybe.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna have to eventually go in and do some highlights and whatnot, but
Yeah.
and the same thing with the red too.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I don't know. I
But
think
the
you should
less
just
time
go.
I spend on it, the better.
But I mean, what you should just do, Eric, is you should kind of finish blocking in some of the colors and then just go heavy with like enamels and oils to make it look all dirty and scuffed and shit. That's what you should do.
That's true.
That's all the rage. And then, like, it hardly even matters if you do any highlights and stuff because whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm
That's a
sort of
good
surprised
point.
you didn't try and paint the armor a metallic color.
Yeah, it would have been the easiest thing to do.
Or like a metallic red or something, or a metallic green.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, no,
actually
I
could be
didn't do
kind of
that.
interesting.
Which
Um,
actually, Andrew Ray, who on Instagram, I think it was this week, mentioned the one Vallejo acrylic metal color gold, and he said it
oh
was really
yeah,
good. So I actually got a bottle of that, and so it would have been really easy to spray these gold. But
that actually might be kind of
I
cool. That
resisted.
because that gold is like a very like silver gold.
Hmm.
I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Hmm. Well, so
Fox asked if that was a subtle dig. I
I
assume in
don't
reference to
it
metallic.
it was I don't know if it was supposed to be a dig or anything. It's just kind of that seems ever since I mean people have been painting marines and other stuff in metallic armors for like forever. Um but I guess recently the people from Iron Sleet, namely Miggs, has started painting his Blood Angel Force, his new Blood Angel Force, like a metallic red color, and they're cool looking. Um, one thing that's interesting the more I look at the biggest thing that came to my mind when seeing all the Blood Angels in the metallic red armor, particularly when seeing like the Dreadnought and stuff that Miggs has painted, it gave me a strong like Thousand Sun Horus Heresy vibe to it
Yeah,
because
because
that's
that's kind of what Forge World is sort of defined as their scheme to
mhm,
be that sort of, yeah, like candy apple red almost,
yeah.
for lack of a better term.
It
One
it
thing
looks
that's
cool
interesting,
though.
looking in the Sisters of Battle Codex, kind of going also to this idea of like just a silver armor.
Hmm.
There are not a huge amount, but there are a bunch. There are a score of different paint schemes. Most of them just like a single Sister of Battle painted
Yeah.
differently, and they're not they're not excellent in painting quality. Like it's not.
Hmm.
It doesn't, or to me, it didn't. It doesn't look like a top end heavy metal sort of paint scheme. They
Hmm.
look a lot more, I'm gonna say, achievable on a large army scale, which in itself is kind of neat or nice to
Yeah.
see that in a way.
Hmm.
Um, and a bunch of them are just various like silvers or golds.
Yeah. Well, so that's an interesting thing. Also, in terms of like metallics and stuff, there are a bunch of companies now that are making like color shift metallic paints and stuff, and some people have been using that to like different effects. I know I purchased a few of them a few months back under the notion that if I ever wanted to paint like sunglasses or anything like that, some of the different like color shade metallics and stuff might be kind of good for that. I've obviously never used them because I haven't
Yeah,
because I
no,
haven't
of course
painted
not.
anything for a while now. But they might actually work pretty well to just paint like eye lenses and stuff like that. I heard Vox just says I heard Green Stuff World has been suing people over the color shift name. That's cool.
Nah, yeah, it's true. There's a YouTube channel, I don't know, called Sword and Steel, with two women who, honestly, I think they started their YouTube channel almost around when Warcry was released, and did a whole bunch of unboxing
Okay.
videos, and have since done a bunch of play videos, things of this nature. And they did the video in question, I believe. I mean, admittedly, I haven't watched this, so
Hmm.
may not be 100% correct, but they were doing almost like a review or something for a Vallejo product, which maybe is called like Color Shift. And
Hmm.
Green Stuff World has Color Shift paints and must have a copyright or trademark, whichever
Hmm.
is fits in this case,
Yeah.
for Color Shift and like all artistic products or something. And so they
Okay.
were didn't like that, or ultimately don't are having a dispute with Vallejo about using that term. And I guess when they saw this video talking about Vallejo's version, they, rather than contacting the channel directly, they just kind of said, "Hey, YouTube, this is happening. We don't really like it." And then the channel was issued,
A cease and desist or some
or
shit.
something, some sort of strike against the channel. And it's one of the sort that if you get three of these said strikes, your channel's just gone. So obviously people were
Piss.
upset.
Yeah.
And I think Green Several tried to kind of, yeah, so Johnny mentions a YouTube strike, yeah. But I think they tried to resolve it, but I don't think it was particularly good.
Wow. I mean that sounds to me like fuck them. Like I probably will never buy anything from them now. I hadn't really planned to, but green
Don't
stuff
you want
bothers
your
me.
tentacle makers?
I'm sure other people make them.
Yeah, but regardless, so it was kind of a.
Yeah,
Which
that's
interestingly,
bad.
though, I think because of it, their YouTube channel probably got just so many more views
Yeah,
now,
I mean that's true. Hopefully it
which
helps
is
them.
which is good for them.
Yes, it's bullshit. Also, there's a
Well, because
company.
they also, I mean, Green Stuff Rod has some interesting stuff. I feel they made their own version of the little cheap light box. They have those at
Okay, yeah.
UV curing resin and this and that. So but
Vox says I bought all my stuff pre-drawn, unfortunately. Uh,
I mean, I wouldn't be too overly concerned about it, but I guess I'll keep watching it. I guess
the stuff I have, maybe it's not color shift. I don't know what they fucking call it.
that's from a different company.
Turbo Dork, it's called. Stupid name.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can find it.
yeah, it is a stupid name.
Oh, well, so here Google comes up with Turbo Dork paints. What do they call them?
Turbo shift. That's how they got around it. This shit's kind of stupid. Like them trying to, yeah, again, I don't know, either trademark or copy like a name. It's like they can't copyright the technology or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have like 3 of these paints, and I was vaguely considering to try and use some of them on the Eldar model that I'm converting now. Like he could have kind of a really weird, like metallic, like almost like a shifting metallic looking armor or something, and like that could be kind of neat.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting. One thing I feel with any paints like this, I feel it's probably a little challenging. Like, how do you highlight them
Oh
and,
yeah, yeah.
do things like that? But it would still probably be fun, or at least to attempt to think about.
Yeah, I feel I'm certainly eventually I'll try and work on them. Or yeah, so yeah, I think it would be very interesting to just play around with it on a lot of different levels. And um, what I really need to do is just have a bunch of like I should really try and just do like test models and stuff and like try various effects and stuff. Um, but Eli says, I only purchase free range and grass fed. Yeah, so you have to be careful what modeling putties you're using.
Yeah. Actually, one last brief thing about painting the sisters. Like, they're pretty dynamic models, but man, certain aspects of them, like the fact that they're robes, like painting behind and all those robes, particularly the fact that most of the color schemes, it's like a dual color, the inside and the outside are different, is a real pain.
Hmm.
And I've been trying to paint this one as a like Order of the Crimson Rose, or
Bloody Rose, or
well, yeah, Bloody Rose. That's it. And the insides are fucking white. So
obviously the best color.
I haven't even tried to paint those yet. And
They're often
obviously,
better to paint them first because if you have to go back in there and try and paint that, you really can. I mean, to me, it looks like you already kind of did a lot of it, but I
I
don't.
mean, it was already primed, the
Okay.
gray primer, and then like I put a coat of Wraithbone over it, so it was already kind of there.
Yeah.
But then I obviously, because I'm not careful, got red all over it, and I went back and tried to largely fix that with just painting Wraithbone on it, but didn't do it completely. and I will eventually, closer to the end, try
Looks
to
pretty
finish
good
it.
to me, at least from this image, Eric.
Well, I wanted to do the inner portion first, but
Well, Eric, maybe I should, since you haven't painted the eye lenses, maybe I should give you some of the Turbo Dork paints. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, no.
Could be cool, though.
No.
Yeah, no. Yvonne says she
No.
does all the inner robe stuff, the inner robe
I can't
stuff
even
first.
imagine if I would have had her actually on a base.
Oh, yeah, no, you
I
couldn't
just
do it.
wouldn't have painted in there
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
was able to like kind of turn it upside down and get the underneath the robes, the legs
Mhm.
and such. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, you'd never see it, so I guess why should I care that much about it? But
In like the official schemes and stuff, what color are their gloves? Are they red too,
red,
or okay?
they're red.
Hmm.
My plan was to probably, I don't know, maybe if I keep the armor sort of like a lacquered look to it, maybe make them slightly more matte or something,
Yeah, that's actually a good idea because you could kind
just
of
to make
shine.
it seem like the texture's a little bit different,
Hmm.
as it's like a different material. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But I guess we can move on past.
Yeah, I mean, so I've just been working on this Eldar pirate. Um, he's going pretty well. I feel like though. I just have so many small little details and stuff that I have to do or want to do that it seems like it's progressing really slowly. But
You posted a picture of just sort of the pistol, the Shuriken pistol on Instagram. And
yeah,
overall, it was relatively positive. Someone said it looked like, or was the size of, or looked like a Wii remote, like a Nintendo Wii, which made me smile. I mean, it's not true, but
it's bigger than a Wii remote, right?
yeah. Someone also made a comment or attempted to sort of quote that particular line in the original Men in Black where Will Smith is given the little tiny pistol, the noisy cricket,
Oh
and he's
shit.
kind of pissed about it. It's like that rather than getting this something
Big,
yada yada
powerful.
atomizer, this big rifle thing, he gets the noisy cricket.
Yeah,
But
shit, I
then the
forgot
noisy
about that.
cricket's pretty powerful, which I feel it's somewhat apt. But admittedly, the noisy cricket is a fuck of a lot smaller than that pistol there.
Yeah, it's still
But
pretty big.
everyone's is it the mighty cricket that
I don't fucking
I
remember.
don't remember what it is. Regardless, but it's the little
Midget cricket, maybe?
yeah, I don't know.
Well, whatever. Men in Black International, that movie was fucking horrible. Don't watch it if you've not watched it. Don't do it. Alright, moving on. Noisy. Yeah, maybe it was noisy. I don't fucking remember. I
I
probably
thought it
saw it
was
like
yeah.
20 years ago or
I
whatever.
thought it was noisy cricket,
Yeah.
but it really doesn't matter. But the noisy cricket was a lot smaller than this. But I suppose with everyone's being used to seeing GW scaled weapons, like the Sister Battle Bolter that we were just looking at is so comically huge that I kind of feel bad that
No,
I
actually,
didn't
someone
do
actually
anything.
commented on, said Cheese Wheel is the only proper Shuriken magazine. So someone actually like
Yeah,
mentioned
someone
that.
did.
Whoa, because yeah, that's what like all of the like Rogue Trader and second edition ones, they have kind of like a little wheel magazine on the top, and that's what I was sort of going for because I thought that was a little more compact and cooler looking than the like
Yeah,
the
the
sickle
cheese wheel.
magazines. Vox says it
Yeah.
was definitely noisy cricket. No, I mean, so Vox, in terms of trying to convert smaller guns and stuff, I mean, I've now been slowly doing that for years, and I feel like the initial conversions and stuff I did were all still huge. And so now it's,
One of your first was those for some of those Scions when the Scions are first released. Like, I mean,
that's
admittedly, you
true.
didn't really do anything,
Oh,
just cut
again, it
off
was
the
stock.
hordes and whatnot. But that was a slight effort at changing weapons that you didn't do much, and it
Yeah.
wasn't very good. But you have to start somewhere and kind of work up to, and even just figuring out what you want to do and what you like. Because I feel when the Scions are released, we had still, realized GW's heroic scale was maybe not quite what we liked, but we weren't quite at the point of trying to combat it as much as we maybe do now.
And I feel like now, people are so used to seeing the larger weapons in both like 40K and a lot of like video games and media and stuff that people don't really have a very good sense how big or small at least modern day firearms are. Um, and I feel a lot of the stuff that I've more recently been trying to make, they look ridiculously small compared to the stuff Games Workshop puts out, but um, compared to what they would probably actually be like in the future, where you think they'd maybe even be better at
Or
making
like what they'll
stuff.
be in the new Eisenhorn TV series.
Is that? I guess that's happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, I don't think it's still not very far along, but
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, who knows? Who knows what they would do? But I kind of doubt that. Well, I guess no, we can't put anything past GW.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Yeah. We just have. So actually, let me bring up. So here's a picture to try and compare the sizes of. I feel almost in general the Eldar pistols are probably some of the worst defenders in Games Workshop line of models, because they're so big that they're almost you almost couldn't use them. They'd be like you're carrying around like a paddle board or something, and like they couldn't even like yeah. Well, they're bad. I've said enough. They're so bad, Jesus.
Yeah, Eli, I sure hope that because in all the Eisenhorn novels, Dan Abnett kind of created a bunch of sort of weapon manufacturers that are maybe somewhat ubiquitous, and a lot of them are more like modern firearms with magazines and such slides, that sort of thing, and not really like the auto pistols that are seen on the models. But let's hope they don't do something stupid like make something so large as it's like some Desert Eagles together. Yeah, but the Heck Cutter is one of the companies, and the other Transvanese or something
Yeah.
akin to that. But it'll be cool to see what they do with that. But if they would go by sort of the stuff how Abnett described it, they would basically just use Glocks or
Well, yeah, I mean,
something
even
akin
like
to that.
the bolt pistol that Eisenhorn carries around, they describe it like the magazine for the pistol goes in the grip, like the grip of the pistol, so it doesn't have like a forward seated magazine like most bolt pistols and stuff have. So it was very much described as a much more like compact pistol, and that was a bolt pistol, so Johnny was mentioned.
Jonathan Hartman's contribution to Warhammer, which I guess is fitting with our talking about the Eisenhorn TV series and such. But Jonathan Hartman, or maybe better known as Shibboleth in sort of these circles, who has made a whole host of great terrain, is a composer in Hollywood, does a lot of like various TV shows, like the scores and music and stuff for him. And ultimately, he was asked to help and compose a piece for kind of the intro for all of their upcoming movie and television, like cinematography line. And they finally, like Jonathan's been talking about it for a little while now, or people have kind of had a sense that he's been involved with something, but they finally revealed that today on the Warhammer community page. It's like a 16-second little intro that I guess would precede any of their movies, or like the Eisenhorn thing, which I guess we could try to play it here, see how it goes. We might have to skip through most of this video if we want to get to the actual intro itself, but it's a bunch of shit shenanigans, but it's right at
I think that was it. It's suitably like
which I don't think we could hear the sound there in this recording.
Oh. Yeah, well,
just probably the way we've set up the stream, that the audio isn't playing there, but
well,
I mean, people can go on the community page and watch it.
It's good. It brings back memories of playing some of like the older computer games like Final Liberation and stuff like that.
Chaos Gate, yeah.
And Chaos Gate and stuff. Some of those were good. Some of those were great.
One thing, it's so short that it's kind of hard. Like, it would have been neat to see what he would have done with something longer.
I think there's a chance they recorded like a longer thing too. It's just they're not.
But I think it's good. It kind of has some like chanting sort of stuff and a lot of drums. I don't know. I think it's good. I think the music is better than the animation.
Yeah, that's true.
Which the animation was done by a studio called, I think, M2. And it doesn't look horrible, but I don't know. I'm not particularly thrilled by it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I thought the Primaris Marine looks a little weird. But mainly it's just because he's shooting a bolter that I don't think is ever that cool.
Well, I mean, if you look at the so I just brought up the picture of that Marine. I think he's supposed to be a Primaris Marine, but it looks like he's sort of morphed back into the standard original Space Marine proportions and stuff. Like, he doesn't really have an abdomen and stuff, so it's like kind of bad.
His head was made larger. His backpack was made larger.
Yeah, so it's kind of wrong.
And the bolter, I mean, admittedly, their bolters are always gigantic, but based on the perspective here, it just puts so much focus on it, which, I mean, I guess that's probably what they wanted, because they're gonna animate it shooting. But I don't like it a whole lot. And then the Stormcast, I mean, it's a female Stormcast, I believe, so that's cool. But it also looks kind of... It only looks okay. Yeah, I mean, that's not saying much.
Yeah, that's true. but I like the music's good, and hopefully
Yeah,
that means
that's.
they'll do more with that.
Hmm. But it was neat to see that they gave some information kind of about how they recorded it, where they recorded it, a bunch of pictures of sort of the process. So it's clear they invested a lot in this and took it seriously. And I think overall that shows.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I guess, although seeing that animation makes me happy that their first sort of television thing they're doing is like the Eisenhorn thing and not a Space Marine centric thing. Because that, I mean, admittedly, they're doing that one Blood Angels animation thing, but it's not the same sort of thing.
What?
Like, I mean, I guess maybe
Years
some
ago
of
they
it.
had that animated Space Marine film, right? What was that called?
Stardays,
Is that what it was
it's just
called?
called the Stardays, and the YouTube channel was hacked for a long time, but I think it's back. But I almost think that those Marines looked better. I
I'm
mean, they
talking
maybe
about the official Games Workshop thing.
that Ultramarine thing,
Was it all? I don't even know
that
what.
Ultramarine film that was pretty god awful, or
It
that's
looked
what I've heard.
awful. Like I watched parts of it, and it looked really bad. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't paid that much attention to
But
all
I
of that
think there
stuff.
was someone who did some animated stuff, like Black Templar animated stuff, and they were kind of commissioned by GW to make like a Blood Angels thing, which might be
Oh,
the first thing that's gonna come out
hmm
of this new TV studio thing.
hmm
But I guess we'll see. Hell, maybe this. I think this weekend, this coming weekend anyway, there is. Las Vegas Open is happening, so there's going to be some more previews and whatnot. Maybe they'll have more about that then.
Hey, I think Greg's here. Hey, Greg.
Oh,
Hey, Greg's here.
it's you.
The stream's still going, probably.
It
It's
sure
still
is.
going.
We were talking about our good friend John Hartman.
Oh,
Or nah, only briefly. We were talking about the music thing he did. Did you watch that, Greg? Yet?
I read a little bit of the post, but like not most of it.
Well, what he
Did you
composed
watch
is
it
only
though?
like 16 seconds, so like it's a very short like musical clip. And in they have a video there where they play the clip at the very end.
Like, I read a very short amount of the long article talking about GW's now making movies and
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't really know what. Is he doing music for one of those things?
No.
This is talking about all of their like movies and stuff, they're going to have a little short clip kind of saying like we're Games Workshop, Warhammer and stuff. And there's like
Oh,
a
and
little
he did the music
animated
for that.
clip of a Space Marine and a Stormcast Eternal like doing stuff. And he wrote
Yeah,
the music for that.
for that.
Yeah.
Holy
Yes.
fuck, the images of the Marine and the Stormcast, the little that I saw looked like garbage.
Yeah, well, we were talking about how they didn't look good. And the animation was kind of.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I didn't watch the
I
animation.
guess the animation itself isn't necessarily bad, but what they look like is kind of bad. But yeah, so I guess this is just like how Pixar's little intro. There's the little light that I don't
Yeah,
remember its name that hops in and
yeah,
hops on the eye. So this is just one of those.
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, then I'll have to watch that. Well,
Jonathan, I think Jonathan's going to be with Games Workshop at Adepticon to kind of promote some of this stuff. So hopefully we can
okay.
talk to him a little more about it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be nice. But Greg, as you were probably hoping, in the little clip, it has a Space Marine shooting.
I mean, that's Warhammer.
So cool.
That's Warhammer.
We were laughing about the Primaris Space Marine, Greg. He has to be a Primaris Space Marine based on the armor. To me, it looks like his proportions have like shifted back to like the standard Space Marines, or his head's overly large. He's lacking most of his abdomen. It's like
Yeah, because that's like kind of the opposite. The Primaris models, while the heads are basically interchangeable with other Space Marine helmets, they are subtly smaller, a little thinner, and a bit sleeker looking, such that they don't convey the sort of caricature nature that kind of the traditional Marine has.
Yeah.
Like they've gone the opposite way here.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I didn't watch it, but it looks like that's nowhere going to be like the classic, like little Pixar light jumping in. I mean, that's good. This, I think, will probably be trying to be too cool. And in the end, isn't that cool because of it, is my feeling. And
it's not, like I feel less could have been more. I mean, I think their new logo isn't terrible, and how it comes in at the end isn't bad either. But
I feel it could have been just as strong or a lot stronger if they just showed like the two helmets and like glowing eyes or something from them. Like they wouldn't have had to show very much, and then just have the kind of the music and stuff to accompany that. Like they didn't need a lot of motion and animation and stuff, because a lot of that kind of Vox says, have you seen the new Disney Star Wars intro? It played before. Yeah, so that they just kind of show a bunch of helmets and they're like metallic, like.
I guess I probably saw that and it made so little of an impression.
So this one, the Warhammer one, makes an impression, but in two ways. The sound is good.
Mm-hmm.
The animation is mediocre.
Well, I mean, I feel like both the Marine and the Stormcast, they look, to me, they look more comical than serious. So like it's sort of jarring with the music, and I feel like that's sort of always been, not always, but in like Dawn of War and stuff like that, like all of the stuff never looked very serious to me. I guess the original Dawn of War cinematic I thought was pretty good.
With the Dreadnought.
With the Dreadnought and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember that was a thing.
Yeah, it was. The opening cinematic for the third one, I remember it was weird.
But I think I would have to watch it again, but it was almost, I think, with a little thought about it, it was weird primarily because the Space Marines imagery was changed a little bit to proportion them better.
Yeah,
they look better. So weird, not because, or just because this new studio realized like this shit looks bad. Let's try to fix this, and still didn't necessarily do the best job. But
oh my God. So Eli says, except for the sergeant backpack just disappearing, that cinematic was awesome. I didn't remember that. That's good. I love it. That's great.
That's 40K.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Well, I guess I'll say this. We would have noticed the backpack disappearing from this Primaris Marine in this short clip because it's just so massive.
Eli says, I cannot forget it. I'll have to go and try and watch it to see that. I didn't realize that. That's good. Love it. How could they have let that happen? Huh. Yeah, well, maybe it was intentional. They thought it would be funny.
Trolling everybody. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I didn't notice it, so
It probably had a fucking banner on the back of it too.
oh shit.
I do
It's
remember him
when
running.
he's running the flag on the hill. That's good. That's good. I'll have to go and try and watch it. Okay. So I don't know. We talked about a bunch of stuff. What's the thought, everyone? I could do a shitty unboxing of the new the Triumph of Saint Catherine, that new model. I have it here. I could open it and we could feebly look at it with the camera here.
Yeah, could do that.
Well, so let me try and set that up. Okay. The other camera's on. I don't think it's really focusing right, but that's cool. Can look at the back of the box. The box is actually pretty nice. It's small. It's pretty small. But they have some pretty nice pictures of all the stuff on the back. Like nicer pictures of the little sarcophagus and everything. And then all of the different icons and stuff. And holy relics that the different sisters are carrying. Okay. So I'm gonna do my best. So I have this now. I'm saying right now I will probably convert at best 2 of these sisters into something. And if I can do more than that, it'll be like a triumph. But I don't think I can do that. Yeah, so yeah, that's true. Vox, the little sarcophagus of sorts, it has these like little vents and stuff like the little jet packs that the Seraphim have.
Watching the Dawn of War thing again, like it's fucking stupid. Like the dreadnought explodes and the sergeant gets knocked over. What I think maybe is supposed to happen, his banner that was on his backpack gets
He
broken
takes it,
off,
and then he runs.
but
up
his
with
whole
that.
backpack has come off in the process. And it's just like, oh, what I need to do is run up and plant this tiny banner up in the ground.
Well, yeah, they
Up
didn't.
so people can see the Blood Ravens logo. And just imagine that this is in the middle of like a battlefield and people like, it's critical that they keep killing these orcs or something. And he, for some reason, decides like, yeah, I'm gonna run and put this tiny little banner up in the air for some reason, while all my battle brothers are still fighting alongside. It's like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
shit's dumb.
So it has it's interesting. They're like little I'll say painting guides are actually pretty interesting. Like they really go like they have tons of different things pointing at the different stuff, and they're actually kind of trying to tell you maybe what they did to achieve some of the stuff. Because I remember in the past, they'd have a picture and have just the paints they use, and it was obviously not even close to true. What they're telling you now, it's probably not really that true. But they actually have a list of several different paints and stuff that they're using. What does Eli say?
Eli, Space Marines don't need the power armor. They're strong enough. They can do whatever they want. Those backpacks, they're only there to look cool. And
They're
that's obvious based on the new intro and the Primaris backpack being bigger than ever.
they're so strong.
Okay, so the instructions, they seem fine. They're nice.
I
and
assume you're
colored.
going to put together the anti-grab casket thing.
Obviously, Eric.
Dave
No.
Taylor already did.
Yeah, he did. Dave, he like converted it to be like an Imperial Guard commander. I think most likely for his like Adepticon, like Cemetery Planet event.
Dead Silence, or it's called something like that.
Okay, so they have all of the named saints telling you how to assemble them. Where
For all
to
your
put
favorite
them.
orders. And all their cool relics.
Here are all the little cherubs that are kind of neat that you would never want to. Yeah, as soon as you'd attach them to the models, like it would be very hard to transport. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Miggs must have been sent this model recently because he's been using the cherubs as like familiars for his dreadnoughts.
Yeah, no, they actually work really well for that, I think. Okay, so
They certainly wouldn't work really well for this model.
No. So they're like there's a larger sprue and the smaller sprue. I guess the larger sprue, a lot of what it's taken up for that is just the massive like
Yeah.
scenic base that actually has a lot of elevation to it. Detail wise, it's like it's good. It looks nice.
Sure won't use that.
No, fuck no.
Well, actually, if you give it to me, I can put a single Sister of Battle on it. Right in the center.
Would be a good base for the little floating sarcophagus type thing. It's not really a sarcophagus. It's more like a little bed. There are like all these like little cushions and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
That the armored body of the saint are kind of like laying on. Each of the sisters have their own like little special have their own special backpack, a lot of which have like candles and stuff on them. As a matter of fact, on the back of the backpacks, they also differ, like have like a little symbol. Like this one looks like there's a skull with a feather quill pen with like maybe a drop of blood. A lot of the other ones have, you probably can't see this, but a lot of the other ones have like little candles, like a little symbol of a candle as well, in addition to the candles on the backpack.
That's cool.
The one sister has like this kind of neat little crown, and that crown is actually, that's cool. It's actually a separate piece, so you wouldn't have to glue it on, or if you wanted to, like you could glue it on something else. I was sort of assuming it would have been attached, but it's not.
I think she's one of the cooler looking ones. Although she's holding like a chalice or some shit
With
in
two
front of her on
hands,
two
yeah.
hands, which be kind of hard to do anything with that.
And
With
the
that
one in
pose.
the back who has like the banner and stuff, she has like a whole series of like little scrolls on her side, which look cool, and I feel like those would actually work really well on like a Space Marine librarian or like all manner of things. This one of them also has like a brace of like two pistols on their back, which is kind of neat. But yeah, I don't know. They're well detailed. I'll be interested to see how how easy they'll be to modify and convert and stuff. I feel like a lot of them you wouldn't really have to do much at all. Like this one here, they have their entire back cloaked, and then their head is in that cloak there. So it's the whole thing is all sculpted in one, and you'll just glue the body pieces onto that, which is interesting.
What people will do is drill that out and put a skull in there. People do.
You could do that.
Dremel it out. Put a skull that's too big, and you don't do a good job of fitting it in. Look really cool. That's what I would do.
The second sprue itself has most of the cherubs and stuff, and a few of the other sisters. One, the sister in the front, is walking with a two-handed sword, which the
sword looks cool, nice. But it's so massively oversized.
Yeah, it's huge
for her.
I mean, I feel it would look pretty good, I think, on a Space Marine. That sister also has a shield, which the back of the shield is actually nicely detailed and stuff as well.
The real question is, what are we going to do with this?
I was thinking at least one of them we could convert into an astropath.
Yeah, I feel that seems like you wouldn't have to do a whole lot to accomplish. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to add a lot more candles everywhere.
This one has a really neat looking little plastic iron halo type thing, which, God. Which I think could be cool. So I don't know. Overall, I think the model looks really nice. I feel almost any one of the sisters would be good for converting models or using. Particularly all the ones with the heavy robes and stuff. I feel they're my favorite.
Yeah, they're the most interesting. And they're different from sort of the standard Sister of Battle.
The little cherubs are actually interesting. If you look at their backs, they have their little wings, and they have a very much an exposed spinal column, which is actually kind of weird. I feel that could be pretty good for all manner of creepy conversions, because you could almost just attach a skull or something to the bottom of that, and it would look kind of neat with the creepy vertebrae.
It's like the first time this is focused at him.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, it's bad.
Do you think it focuses on the cutting board in the back or something? Because of the texture or the...
Maybe.
I don't know.
But that's not even in focus. Yeah, so it's bad. It's bad. So you probably got nothing out of this, but it's interesting. The heads of the cherubs are really small.
That's good. Well, so are we going to use the cherubs for anything? Probably not. The cherub thing isn't necessarily our take on 40K.
I don't love them.
Yeah, it's not so much of a jam. They're okay.
But, I mean, they could probably pretty easily be separated and just put on a base just to use for... Or, nah, basically just to put in the case and never use, but...
Yeah. Eli says he loves the cherubs. Yeah, I mean they're nice looking, and I feel they're some of the best cherubs that Games Workshop has made. Um,
They're, I
there's
think, hands down the best. Well, I think all the newer sisters, they feel they've taken that idea and done it like a nice job of it, which
I
is
agree.
good. If they're gonna have that, might as well do it well. The real thing will be, will someone will someone ever buy the new tank kit solely to get that head with the like stained glass sort of thing?
I'm gonna take a few pictures of some of the stuff to I'll put them up on screen. They'll be easier to
Yeah,
see
okay.
than the god awful video that I just went about doing. But yeah, no, there's a lot of interesting stuff. Like they have a bunch of little like open books and stuff that look nice. Like I feel a lot of these models, like if you were actually making a Sister of Battle army, you could just use them for like different character models and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
even if you weren't taking the saint themselves. Okay, so first I'm bringing up, so here you can see the vertebrae on the cherubs, which is kind of very creepy. I feel could easily be used on all manner of
Adam, I
things.
think you need to turn off the.
Oh yeah, I need to turn off the camera, huh?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so there you can see kind of the little cherub wings and stuff and the vertebrae. I don't know if all of the cherubs are like that or oh, so not all of them are. Some of them have more like just like cabling and stuff coming out of their back. So there's some variety in the cherubs as well, which that's probably good. Not all cherubs are the same. And we wouldn't want them to be. Okay, so that's the cherub. If we look, I was telling you about like the little metal crown or whatever the one's wearing. Here's a picture of that.
The Sister of Battle regular box is a little cherub in it that actually has a nice skull head on it. That again is one of those things that I feel was actually finally done well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little crown looks cool.
If we look at like the cherub heads and stuff, in this one they have a bunch of ones, some of which have kind of like a little like gas mask or a breather type thing. Others are a little more traditional. So yeah, they look pretty good. And I guess one thing that can be said, like this one, the casting and stuff of all the models looks pretty good.
That's good.
They're not like heavily or obviously miscast. It also looks like maybe they have multiple different heads for the cherubs. Let me actually look if that's actually the case, or no, it's probably not. It's just how many cherubs are there? There are like 5 of them. One of them, let me take a picture of his head. He kind of looks like he has a knight, like the head of a Yeah,
Well,
there's
so
like
the
a
real question, Adam,
white.
are you gonna wait until you finish the Eldar to do anything with this?
I don't know. That's what I should do.
Are you going to paint that Eldar shortly after finishing it, do you think? Or
I should probably try and do that. That would be the best way to try and finish them all. Okay, so here is the like knightly head with a bionic eye. It's kind of neat.
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's a lot in the model itself.
There should be a lot for like $110.
Yeah, it's true.
But the thing is, there's a lot in there, but not a lot that you'll use.
That's probably true.
If you do use 2 of them or something, that would be impressive.
I feel I can probably do that, right?
Yeah, I think you can. You can do it.
We'll see.
And yeah, honestly, doing something with the little cherubs, just attaching them to like separate bases or something somehow could be a nice thing for just kind of like NPC like stuff, just for creepy Warhammer stuff.
I mean, that is true. Or even objective markers and stuff for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of all the little scrolls. The stuff looks like it's scaled well too. Okay, yeah, there's a picture of all the little scrolls. They're like attached to like a little leather strap of sorts, so they'd be very easy to like cut off and move elsewhere.
That's a lot of candles on that banner top too that you could put someplace that didn't make much sense.
You know, the candles are cool. I feel they make a little more sense here because they're not necessarily they're not going into battle as much.
Yeah, it's more like a slow procession. Yeah.
Because yeah, they just topple right off.
Their faith in the Emperor keeps them there, Adam. You know
That's
that.
true. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked.
Mm-hmm. Clearly.
That's how it's always worked. The one holding the sword has like a little emerald ring on her finger.
That's neat.
Yeah, which is cool.
Just doesn't she have like a circlet or something too?
Yeah, on her forehead, yeah. So yeah, you could actually spend a lot of time on Games Workshop's website just looking at the individual pictures and seeing the different details and stuff.
I think just the one with the walking with the sword, like, would be a pretty simple thing that you could essentially just assemble her almost as is, maybe change the sword, and she could just be like for a Inquisitor's retinue or whatnot, having a sister battle along.
Okay, so here I brought up like a painted picture, and you can see the one with like the circlet and holding the sword. You can see her little ring there. And the one right beside her in this picture, who's holding like this, she's holding like a staff. You could pretty easily convert her into like an astropath or something.
Yeah, well, you could even the little Inquisition sigil or whatever, ecclesiarchy symbol, or whatnot. I mean, all you'd have to do is change that skull to like a little eye or something, because I think that's basically the astropath symbol.
Yeah, like a seeing eye.
One thing that the background lore and such in the book talks a little bit about some of the different non-militant orders, so the non-sisters of battle, but like there's the medical arm, but then there's also some that literally like just research stuff, like research Xenos technology, Xenos physiology, or study arcane dead languages and
That's cool.
stuff like that. And oftentimes they will accompany like inquisitors or different places or whatnot to help with sort of that arcane knowledge, stuff like that. So I feel that would be pretty easy to hell the one with all the scrolls, like you could pretty easily just like not do a whole lot with her and say she's some sort of advisor from that particular capacity. I don't remember what the non-militant order it is that this is called. But
consider it done, Eric. No, but that's a good. Yeah, it's a good idea. Would be easy to.
Yeah, so the Haas Pitlers or whatever is one of them, but there are a bunch of other ones too, like a bunch of other non-militant orders studying, like, because the one type they said had often accompany there's some minor ordo that studies plagues, like Inquisition order, and it mentioned that the one particular non-militant order would often like accompany them and such. So I guess regardless, it was neat to hear them or GW sort of acknowledge and talk about some of the other functions that they could play.
Do you think some of that stuff was originally described in the FFG books or something?
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's long been a part of the lore too.
Yeah.
It probably has. Eli might know.
Yeah.
He has most of the books, I think. Yeah. He has most of them. I guess no. I think we don't really have most of the Dark Heresy stuff. I sort of always wanted to buy it, but never did.
Yeah, we have like the main book. Oh yeah, I have it back here. The main book, right behind me.
Is it the second edition?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Pretty sure it's.
Wait, Eli
pretty
says
sure
I
it's
have
the
all
first.
the second edition ones. I think Greg and I got the second edition one when it was released.
Thinking you'd do something with it.
Well, no, I didn't think that. Okay, Eli is talking about the one fighting demonic plagues. They're the worst kind when the plagues are demonic. Just so much harder to deal with, I bet.
Yeah, so the Order's Dialogus serve as scholars and advisors. They are expert translators of texts, both human and Xenos, holy and blasphemous, and spend years learning language used in esoteric scripts.
That's cool.
Much of their study is devoted to collating ancient scriptures that give accounts of the God Emperor before his internment in the Golden Throne. So yeah, I feel that's neat.
Yeah, demonic plague. I don't know what that would mean. Like viruses they're not really living, or most people don't consider them living. So like you wouldn't think they'd be demons, but who knows? It doesn't have to make sense.
Sure doesn't.
Eli wrote a short story on his old blog about someone in the one that fights the demonic plagues. Wait, what does Wop say? Yeah, are demons living? Yeah, I mean they're who knows? Probably not. Maybe they are. Well, yeah, 40K philosophy time. Yeah, we could probably spend a lot of time talking about that.
Everyone would love it.
Yeah. Maybe the capsid coating on these viruses are like maybe that's the demonic part, or maybe it's just like do they have like genetic information and stuff? Maybe that's what makes it the demon. Who knows?
Whatever you want, man.
Yeah, do they have DNA? Or some more sinister way to keep their demonic RNA? No, it's probably even a precursor to RNA, something even before that. Could come up with a stupid name for it.
But RNA was before DNA.
Well, yeah, but
Adam.
what was before that? What was before the RNA?
Who knows?
Carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Okay, so now Eli's talking about like a drug that's made from the powder of like the bones and stuff for like sacrifices and like demons themselves. That sounds pretty rough. Well, so like Ravener, the one Ravener novel dealt with like
Flex.
yeah, drug use and stuff that was like tainted by like demons and the like.
Yeah, Carl Thrawnus was looking for a look.
Yeah.
No, I guess that wasn't Thrawnus, but one of the things that I thought was funny that maybe it was Zweil or whatever the little boy was. It's like he was looking for a look when he saw the guy. I think it was when he saw Nail.
Hmm.
I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, so
the flex thing.
if you haven't read the
Good.
Ravener novels, the first one it talks about like drug use and stuff and how it could be related to like demons and the warp and stuff, which is cool. So if you haven't read it and don't want to know, try not to read the comments and stuff because Eli he wrote it all
Let
down
everyone
for you to
know.
read.
Yeah, I was close to just saying it too because it's cool.
I won't read the comments then. Or is this about? I mean, I read the first Ravener book.
So it was in that you knew at one time.
Yeah, you
Okay.
knew it at one time. Yeah, no, that's cool. So how's everyone feeling? I feel like I soon probably want to go to bed.
Yeah. What I want to do is get back to reading this Sister of Battle Codex.
Well, I'm gonna try and read it.
It's not actually too bad. Although, admittedly, I haven't read any of the previous ones in a long time to really know if I could compare it to it. So.
Oh my god. Eli's saying that in his Black Crusade campaign, so that was the one where you could role play as Chaos Space Marines and stuff. He took that like demonic demonic dust and stuff at the final boss, and then he essentially blacked out and didn't take part in it. That's great. Chaos
That's
working
really
out
good.
for him.
Those are the sorts of spectacular failures that are so great about the pen and paper RPGs that so rarely end up in the video game equivalents of role-playing games.
Yeah,
That-
that's true.
So that's why Nick on our end of the year stream mentioned the game Disco Elysium. That's one of the reasons why it's great, because of all the video games I've ever played, it's the most, I feel like it's the closest to emulating playing a good pen and paper RPG.
But you
One
never
where
did that, Eric.
I didn't do a very good job of it now. But it's the closest I've played to a game that actually seems like you're trying to play a role
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
and like be a character.
Yeah, like role playing isn't just about rolling dice. That's not what it's talking about.
No, I mean I feel role playing in the sense of video game role playing is so synonymous with kind of dumb combat and these
Mhm.
progression systems where you like level up and is kind of not really what the core
Yeah.
of a real role playing session would be. But Disco Elysium is good in that there's a lot of depth in the writing and such, and failing is like one of the coolest parts in it. That oftentimes failing at tests and such is more interesting than succeeding, and so
Mhm.
it gets really good. People should play it.
All right, I guess on that note, we'll call this stream to its conclusion. Thanks everyone for coming in and
Mhm.
chatting with us. Maybe in a future episode we can talk more about demons and how they relate to science or how they don't relate to science.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Vladimir. Thanks for listening. Thanks,
Mhm.
everyone. We'll hopefully talk to you again soon and hopefully show some more of our conversion work and such. But until then, oh, I just woke up. Damn. Sorry you weren't able to hear more of the stream, but I guess it should be, if you want to listen to it, it should be online. Oh, caught the last 15 minutes. That's where we were talking about all sorts of weird shit. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon. Keep on enjoying the hobby.
Yep.
Over
See
and
you,
out.
everybody.
See ya.